Never sweep difficult emotions under the rug. Face them head on, deal with them. The more you suppress difficult emotions, the more they are going to haunt you, come back to you, return to you until you deal with them. When you deal with them, then they finally pass.
Let me welcome you all to a brand new episode of the Heroes Podcast. Our guest on the podcast today is an extraordinary and fascinating lady who currently lives in Thailand. How great and amazing is that, guys? Liz, could you please give us a little introduction? Please tell us about yourself.
All right. So, hi, everyone. And thanks for having me as a guest today. My full name is Erzsebet Eva Szilagy, but everyone just calls me Liz. It's easier for everyone. I was born and raised in the Hungarian countryside, and I was not even 20 when I moved to the capital, Budapest, to establish myself financially. And in the following years, I have worked in Hungary, the United Kingdom, and Germany. Yeah, in the past almost 20 years, I worked in corporate management in these countries. And then there came a point where I was really asking myself, what is really my purpose in this life? Why I feel unfulfilled in the life that I have. So working in my corporate job, I realized that I was always overwhelmed, overworked. I was very stressed, constantly tired, and very unmotivated. And there I was in a well-paid job. I established a good career, financial security, but I was just unhappy and unfulfilled. And in the years following this realization, I have worked really intensely on my physical, mental, and emotional health. I started to immerse again in herbal medicine. I have expanded my horizon on yoga, anatomy, mental health, self-development, and meditation by attending several trainings and courses and programs. Each of these were immensely eye-opening and really life-transforming. Especially my first 200 hours yoga teacher training in India. Something shifted in me in India, and it became crystal clear that teaching yoga will be my path. I really wanted to have a more meaningful life. I wanted to make a difference, to serve and help people, to share knowledge and somewhat ease the suffering of our modern world, the same suffering that I was in. But still, after all this, a life-threatening illness and a burnout in 2018 was necessary to make my final move and completely transform my life. Staring that in the face in 2018, I realized that life is way too short to live unhappily and unfulfilled. So I quit my job in 2019 and started to teach yoga full time. 1 year ago, so pretty recently, I decided to leave the Western world completely behind. And I moved to a tiny island in Thailand. I teach yoga here, mostly online, and running my yoga teacher training. I live in a wooden house in nature by the ocean with my dog, leading a very, very simple life.
Wow, a very interesting and inspiring life story. Thanks a lot for your attending our video podcast. Dear Liz, we asked you what heroes are for you, and you said the following. My parents are one of my heroes who managed to overcome many difficulties while raising me and my siblings, staying grounded in their relationship for over 30 years now. Otherwise, everyone is a hero to me who had the courage to face their shadows. Everyone who works on themselves every day to become a better person. How can heroes give courage to other people? What do you think gives people the courage to face their challenges?
I think it's important to have people in our lives who inspire us, who lead by example, and who have very strong integrity. I'm really grateful that I have a lot of people in my life from all over the world who model it, how life in alignment can look like. And in the meantime, they are also showing their vulnerability. They are not denying their human nature.
You started working on your financial stability very early in life. Why was that important to you?
So I grew up in a family where love was always abundant, but financial struggle was always present. My grandparents were persecuted by the communist system, which made it practically impossible for them to rise above poverty. And it's carried over then to my parents, who also had very limited options, spending most of their lives in the communist system. And I really wanted to break this cycle. I wanted to break this generational cycle of poverty, of limitedness. And I wanted to create wealth and abundance, not to be rich, but to be free from all of this, and to use that wealth to make a difference in the world, making it a better place.
Okay, could you please tell me about your burnout and the realizations you had in 2018?
The main reason of my burnout, now seeing it retrospectively, was that I was simply not passionate about my profession, about my work. I originally studied horticultural engineering, and my passion was always plants, nature, growing stuff. Yet I was stuck in a profession, I was stuck in a job at a company that I just happened to land in when I was really, really young, and I just took whatever job was available. And I have spent 17 years doing this work I was not passionate about. And as I worked under tremendous pressure and stress, this turned really into despising my job, into hating my job, making it harder each and every morning to get out of bed, wake up, go to the office, and I just lost my motivation completely. Then in 2018, when I was traveling around in Thailand, I got dengue fever, and I was hospitalized for 10 days. I was not able to eat or drink or move at all in these 10 days. I was completely debilitated. And by the end of this whole sickness, I really looked like a skeleton. I lost all my body mass. During the fever, I was mostly unconscious. But in the short periods when I was awake, when I came to consciousness, it became very clear that if I survive this, I definitely do not want to return to my old life and just spend my days doing what doesn't fulfill me. And when I recovered from the dengue fever and I traveled back to Europe, I started to look for a way out of the contemporary hamster wheel, a way out of a society when one's value is measured by their productivity. And I wanted to live in nature finally, far away from the urban lifestyle, to find my way back to a natural, grounded state, to simply find peace and freedom.
Liz, what drove you to attend so many meditation and yoga classes and programs? Did you do it so that you were healthy or because you later wanted to make money with the knowledge?
So the female lineage of my family, so my ancestors are typically healers. They were all amazing women who had a lot of knowledge about nature, plant medicine, and spirituality. And I carry this heritage in my bloodline. So I was always drawn to these topics. First, I started to immerse into these passion topics for my own well-being and healing. It was basically a self-discovery journey. Back then, I also had the feeling that I would love to do a work in this field, but before I could support anyone, I really had to go through the journey myself. I really had to work on my own healing first. So I wanted to learn as much as possible about myself, about the world, and what drives us as human beings, how nature can support us in our physical and mental healing. And I'm grateful that now I am actually able to work with whatever knowledge I have collected, whatever I have learned in the past years, and now I can support others on that journey too.
What has changed in your life after you completed your yoga teacher training?
My first training, it was already very hard to settle back into my old life. I was really restless. I didn't find my place anymore. I wanted something else, something more out of life. But when I was not yet sure how it's going to happen. But I felt more and more detached from the life I have built up. And also my values have changed completely. I simply saw the world in a different way because I was different myself. Everything changed. I just did not fit in the world I was in anymore. I was a stranger in my own world.
Which are your main goals when teaching yoga and which methods do you use? Moment. Okay.
I mainly teach introspective and therapeutic forms of yoga, such as yin yoga, trauma-informed yoga, and also aerial yoga, aerial yin. I choose to work with gentle methods, as these have helped me to nourish my body and mind back to health several times during my journey, and to process traumatic experiences which were deeply buried in my nervous system. My classes are mainly focused on emotional and mental health, restoration, and preservation. My yin yoga classes are based on the Taoist concept of yin and yang, which are opposite and complementary principles in nature. And we hold the poses in this yoga class for longer time, several minutes, to stimulate the subtle energy channels of the body, which are called meridians. These are the same energy channels acupuncture works with. So through these energy channels, we stimulate certain organs and organ systems in the body, which in turn affect us on an emotional level. According to traditional Chinese medicine, each main organ in the body are connected to certain emotions. This way we can release long-held emotional blocks on the level of the physical body. And while we hold the poses for several minutes long, our deep connected tissue, the fascia, has a chance to lengthen and stretch, which increases our mobility and flexibility. When I teach trauma-informed yoga classes, our focus is even more on emotional and mental health and healing. Trauma-informed yoga is a completely different approach to yoga than one would know from the studios. It has very specific principles. It basically assumes that everyone who walks into a yoga class has potentially experienced trauma, and there might be potential triggers that will unlock emotional responses. So a trauma-informed class creates a safe and healing environment, a safe container for the students. And it's an authentic shared experience with others, but without having to share your story, like in talk therapy. And repeating your story over and over can be potentially re-traumatizing. And in the class, you do not have to share your story. You share the experience with the others who are in the room with you, but you don't have to share your story. Also, a trauma-informed class is process-oriented and not goal-oriented. So there's no ideal pose, there's no ideal asana shape. We focus on the sensations in the body instead. The goal of trauma-informed yoga class is to heal, is to release stress and anxiety or any bottled up emotions from the body. And to learn healthy coping tools to reconnect with the self and reconnect with the body. It can also reduce physical and emotional pain and be present in the given moment. So instead of lingering in the past that you cannot change, instead of stressing about the future that never comes, you are basically dragged back into the present moment to be in the now, to be in your physical body. And there are my area classes, which are a little bit more playful. A great opportunity for my students to overcome their fear. There's also a yin version here, which is very therapeutic. And it's a great opportunity to resurface your inner child. So if someone is interested in inner child work, then area classes with their playful style are really ideal for them.
You mentioned that you left the Western world behind. What were your reasons for this decision?
As I mentioned before, after certain experiences, I could not really find my place anymore in the Western world. And in the past years, I returned to this island where I live now several times, mostly coming back for yoga teacher trainings combined with holidays. But the first time I set foot on this island, I knew that I will be back. And the more I came back, the more I felt that this could be really a place for me to settle down. I went through a very difficult emotional time in the end of 2020, and I left Germany. I moved back to Hungary, ending a 7-year-long relationship. However, I could also not find my place in Hungary, really. And then I just suddenly decided one morning that, okay, this is the time to come to the island. And I decided to fly out to heal and recover from my experiences. So originally I came last January for 2 months to heal myself. And now I'm here for more than a year, which, so with the current global situation, I really feel that my place is here. At the moment, I cannot imagine returning to the Western society that limits me and limits my freedom in all kinds of ways. I've created a life for myself here. I have a community. I finally live close to nature. I'm close to the ocean, like I always wanted to. So because I found a life here, beautiful, like-minded people, peace and freedom. Yeah, it was a good decision to come here, and at the moment I don't feel called to return to Western society.
Okay, we come to our end questions, dear Liz. And yes, what was the best book you have ever read or listened in your life?
Tough question with the books, because I'm a huge book nerd and I consume audiobooks like crazy. But if I have to mention a few good books, I've found these ones inspiring. from Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. From Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Everyone should read this one. And on my journey to understand trauma, Peter Levine's Waking the Tiger book is really, really awesome.
Okay, nice. Liz, what do you think is the key to success?
The key, in my opinion, is to do what nourishes and fulfills you. Life is just too short to waste time on doing what doesn't feel right, what doesn't make you happy. This applies not only to work, but other life situations, on relationships, everything. We build up resilience through hardship, pain, suffering. The more you have to lose everything and rebuild yourself from zero, from scratch during your life, the more you develop the skill to bounce back after a devastating life event. So, of course, this doesn't mean that eventually nothing difficult will happen to you anymore, but your way of dealing with it, your way of coping, your way of responding to difficult life events changes. It gets better and you recover faster. And as a final thought on this, always listen to your gut instinct, to your intuition. Watch the sensations in your body in response to people and situations. Your body never lies. It will always tell you if you are on the right track or you should get out of a situation while you can. And another thing I would like to mention is never sweep difficult emotions under the rug. Face them head on, deal with them. The more you suppress difficult emotions, the more they are going to haunt you, come back to you, return to you until you deal with them. When you deal with them, then they finally pass. So that would be my advice.
Dear Liz, what is the secret to a fulfilling and happy life? Maybe yoga and meditation, or what do you think about?
Yoga and meditation is just the tip of the iceberg. I think the secret is understanding that nothing is permanent in life, and to live every moment with presence, because these fleeting moments of your life are gone really fast. They are there and then they pass right away. So enjoy happiness fully while it lasts, and be also present in difficult times, knowing that they will also pass. Make every day worth living, make them count. Our time here on this planet is very limited and very precious. So I advise you to learn who you are, embrace who you are, including your dark sides that you want to push away. Learn what gives you joy in life and live with alignment with that. Also, it's good to establish strong boundaries around your time and energy, saying no to things that do not serve you, but in the same time, being kind to others.
What are you up to nowadays? Which projects are you working on?
At the moment, I offer online yoga classes in German and English through studios mainly, but also privately. I have created a 90 days mentoring program, which is called the Soul Aligned Life Transformation Program, where I support mainly overwhelmed and stressed out corporate employees or entrepreneurs to live a more fulfilling and a healthier life. It's not really just about yoga. It's a holistic program focusing on recovering and maintaining physical and emotional health in the Western world, where people are constantly under pressure and under a constant stream of input and information. So I basically support people who I was once a few years ago, to find their path on their self-healing and self-discovery journey. I'm also running a holistic yoga teacher training in collaboration with an Indian yoga school. It is an interactive, live video-based, life-transforming course that combines traditional multi-style yoga studies with a holistic lifestyle approach. So it's much more than just a yoga teacher training. It's really a holistic program. And this extensive training expands your horizon beyond traditional yoga teacher training curriculum, integrating additional topics such as lifestyle, Ayurvedic nutrition, trauma awareness, aromatic and medicinal herbs, and much, much more. So it's a very extensive teacher training program. And this course fully prepares the students from the physical foundation of yoga all the way to creating powerful classes that promote physical and emotional health and personal growth in their future to students. So whether they are an aspiring yoga teacher or just a passionate practitioner who would like to deepen their knowledge, this training is designed to give people a deeper understanding of the human body and mind. Our current training is running at the moment till the end of February. And we are going to announce soon the dates for our next training. So if anyone's listening who's interested, then stay tuned for the new date. And I'm also building another online course for freshly graduated yoga teachers to support them on their onward journey, on their journey after the yoga teacher training, to find their path, to find their own teaching style, to find their own voice, and to figure out how they would like to use this knowledge, how they would like to serve others with the knowledge they gained on the yoga teacher training. So a lot of exciting projects are going on. Stay tuned for more infos on my social media sites.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, dear Liz, for the interview. If you want to follow up with Liz, you can find her contact details in the description box down below. There you can also find our details, and we hope to see you in our next episode with a new guest and the next inspirational story. See you soon, guys. Ciao.
Ciao, thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so fertig.